and welcome to another edition of Mock Family Games. Today we're talking about a very light family game. This is one we found about 3 years ago. It is...
The game is Loot and Run. Push your luck, light family game.
Yep. And Aidric, why don't you tell us a little bit about this one?
Okay, so this one is put out by Christian LeMay, produced by Iello. So obviously it always has some fun artwork, you know. We got our copy for like $5, although it is a pretty cheap game still. $9 to $10 miniature market.
Yep, so usually you'll find like 8 to 12 if you're looking on Amazon or Miniature Market or Cool Stuff. We got ours during a sale on Miniature Market for $4. For that price, we thought it'd be a great birthday gift. Like when you see those, it's a perfect size for a birthday. And it's fun, and it's one that, you know, if you're giving it to a non-gamer, they probably haven't, you know, this isn't going to be in Target or Walmart. So it was fun for that idea as a gift for, you know, her to give to her friend for a party or something. Like Aidric said, Iello, so you know the art's going to be fun. You know that it's going to be a high-quality production, and it is. You know, there's a couple things to keep it economical. One is the scoreboard is on the inside of the game. The rule book, I mean, everything's obviously very, very small. Rule book's tiny. All the little chits in here are pretty tiny. Scoop those out of there. So I'll quickly explain how the game works, then I'll let the kids kind of talk about what they like about it and some of the mechanics and some of the scoring. There's only 2 player action aids. So we usually play with 6. We put one on one end of the table, one on the other. Not that you really need them. There's really only 3 things you can do. And the setup is divide the deck in half. There's 54 cards, so 27 each. You can eyeball it. You set them up, and you're set up for a game. So, Aidric, what are the 3 actions?
Okay, so the first action is called Loot, which basically you just take a card. So I would draw a card.
So he looted. Let's say Tagan looted. Aislynn looted. I looted. We all look and see what we have. We don't show anybody. We're looking to see what kind of treasure we have. We're looking to see if we have an amulet. An amulet is good. And we're looking to see if we have a monster. A monster is bad. So we look at what we have. We don't ever see. We put it face down. And now we have this hidden knowledge from the rest of the game. And now, the next turn, Aidric has the option to...
Run, which is your second action. You can reveal all cards in front of you. And then you score the points based on the number of treasures or trophies or whatever you call them. Yeah.
So Aidric has 3 trophies on here. It wouldn't matter if he had a monster or not because he ran. So he wasn't awakened, so he ran. So no matter what was on here, he's scoring it. And in this case, he's scoring 3. We'll talk a little bit more about multiplying scoring here in a minute.
Yeah.
So the next option is to run. This is discarded, and we would score him 3 points on the game tracker. Tagan, let's say Tagan looted again.
Yeah.
So we got Aislynn looted again. I looted again. Aidric looted again. And now Tagan has a 3rd option. And the 3rd option would be to awaken someone.
That would mean if I have a card and they have a card, I could say, Dad, flip your cards over.
So I flip my cards over. And I have...
A monster, which is good. Well, good for the person awakening, but bad for the person who's getting awakened. But he also has an amulet, which cancels out 1 monster. And so right now, he's at dead 0.
Yep. So I'm even. That was an unsuccessful awakening. Had this not had an amulet, like this, had it not had an amulet, I would have lost. I would have been awoken, and he would have won, and he would get the effect of the Frankenstein monster. So that'd be a good play for him, and I score no points. So those are the 3 actions: to loot, draw a card; to run, to take your cards and score them before you get awoken; or your third option is to awaken another player. Aislynn, do you want to talk a little bit about the scoring?
Also, so you had this card and this card. If I don't know if you can see here, but those are the same treasures. So he would score that, like double it.
Yep. So there's multiple treasures on here. So there's like a red treasure chest. There's like a brown vase. There's a green blob, a green Buddha. It looks like. So if they're the same, you multiply them by the number of cards that have that icon.
Except it can only go up to 2.
Right.
So yeah, basically, if you have a max in there, it's going to be times 2 of whatever the number is.
Right. So I have I have a match, so I'm multiplying by 2. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Buddhas. 4 times 2 would be 8 points instead of 4 if they're unmatching. That's really the entire game. Is you set out 2 decks of cards. You give everybody a color marker. So I'm the yellow player. So you know what I am. I lay my cards in front of me as I draw them, and you either loot, run, or awaken. There are 3 monsters in there. There's a mummy, a Frankenstein, and a werewolf. And each of them do a different effect based on which one comes up.
Yeah.
Tagan, what do you like about this game?
Wait, one thing we didn't say. If you awaken somebody and they don't have anything, like it's unsuccessful, then you actually lose your cards.
Right.
Right. So if I lost my cards, it wouldn't matter if I had a mummy right now. I would just lose them, and then they would just score the points, and I would have to start fresh.
Yep. So super light. You can teach it to anybody in like literally 3 minutes. If they're struggling, give them the card which says loot. Here's what loot is. Draw a card. Run. Take your cards and score them, regardless of what's on them. Or awaken. Awaken another player. If they have more monsters than amulets, you win the awakening. What about you, Ace?
Another thing we didn't mention, like if you're when you awaken someone and it is successful, so let's say they just had a mummy.
Yep.
It says a mummy on here, and it says exactly what it does, and it says immediately score that player's cards as though you took a run action with his cards.
Right. So if this were a mummy, it's actually a Frankenstein. So let's say it was the mummy. What she's saying is, she awoken Aidric. Not only does he not score those, she does. So she's going to benefit from that. The last thing we want to talk about is the colors on these. So those are both yellow. Let's see, they're all yellow. Why are they all yellow? There's a green. There's a red. So you have red, green, and yellow. As a general rule, a green card is going to be safer, but it's going to have less treasure on it. A yellow card is going to be middle of the road, and usually going to have about 2 treasures on it. And a red card will be higher risk. Red cards generally will have a monster on them, but they have big treasure. Now this one has no monster, but 3 treasures. That's a great card. So as you're looking to determine should I awaken them, you're looking at the colors in front of them. And if they have all greens, they're very low risk. So I'm going to let them build up because they've got 1, 2, 3. They might have 4 points. If they've got 4 reds and they run, they might have 12 points, but there's a good chance they have a bunch of monsters. There's a monster there. Yep. So that's the game. Loot and run, super light. We compare it to a lighter version of, say, Ink and Gold or Celestia. They're very similar in that they push your luck. They play up to 6, which is perfect for us. But this is just a little bit lighter. And if we don't, not that those games are heavy by any stretch, but sometimes you don't want 25 minutes. And this just plays in like 8 to 10 minutes. Tay, what's your final thoughts on this one?
Not everything I probably had to say is probably already said. Just, it's like, don't be expecting like these big games back here, because it's not, but it is still very fun.
Yep.
It's not a game you want to play every day. Maybe like, we pull it out probably once every 2 months.
Yep. 3-4 times a year. Yep.
Pretty fun game. That's basically all I have to
Yeah,
say.
so exactly right. A game doesn't have to be $85 or $50 or in a big box to be a lot of fun. This is one that we pull out 3 to 4 times a year. So at $4 that we paid for, we probably played it 12 times or so. Adrian, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, like we were saying, like there's definitely a good strategy in knowing the colors and when to awaken them and when to run with yourself. I think there's actually a good amount of strategy, but it's still light, that it's like super simple gameplay. You're having fun, you're getting scoring, it's just a fun game to play with the family, basically anytime. So. And
there's no AP. I mean, there's just turns are 5 seconds if that.
Yeah.
So what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, but some greens may actually have like a monster like this one.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee, right? Yep.
But like I mean, maybe these things could be like a little bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it was clear they were aiming at a family audience. They didn't want this to be a $20 game even. I mean, it was clearly designed to be a stocking stuffer, $8 to $10 game, which most card games are. And this is basically it's a nice box. It's very firm. It's a nice box, but 54 cards, and that's really it. So thanks for watching. We'll do a quick playthrough of this in the next few days. If anybody's interested, we think it's we can probably do a full playthrough in like 8 minutes. So we'll do that if you're on the fence about picking this one up. Thanks for watching.